Begin our press conference post-game with Coach Sabins. Coach, would you get us started with an opening statement, please?
Mountaineers are going to Omaha. 135 years in the making, so pretty special to be part of something that's never been done in history before. The credit goes to these kids and the players before us and the fans and the supporters and the donors and administration and the folks that cover this and the auxiliary staff. And so many people help build a program. That's what this is a program. And to see the support from the fans and to see the support from the state is something that's beyond special. So couldn't be more excited for our team and one of the last 8 teams standing now. This is why I came here 11 years ago, to be able to have an opportunity to be the best in the world at something, and that's what this university has provided me, an opportunity to do that. And just couldn't be prouder for the kids. This week was storybook, and there's so many things that happened, beginning with the regional, but for Ben McDougall to send us to Omaha is a movie script. So I'm excited for everybody, excited for the kids, and we're going to rest and reset and focus on what's ahead of us.
Questions for Coach Sabins. We'll start right here, Coach.
So, Coach, your guys seem pretty even keel, and you've talked about that before, but is there excitement about what you've accomplished? You're matter of fact in a lot of ways, too, but what is the excitement level right now?
High. I think the reason that we're in the position that we're in because the kids love each other, they love baseball, they love working, they like getting better, they like being on the field, they like playing baseball. So if you took away the championships and you took away sold-out crowds and you took away NIL money and everything else, I think the kids in that locker room would show up every day and play at Holly Field or Ken Kendrick Ballpark because they like baseball and they like each other. And so I think the excitement level is at all-time high, but I do believe that they're in it for the right reasons, and that's probably why we're winning a lot of games.
Right here, Coach.
Coach, you have used a lot of movie terminology. You mentioned cinema just a couple of days ago. Now you mentioned how with McDougall striking out, it's a movie script. What would be the movie title of this season?
I don't know. You have to ask me that one once the season's over. I'm not creative enough to answer that one, but I think just grit and West Virginia, those kids coming together to accomplish something bigger than themselves. That's kind of been the theme of the whole year. And I really think that you have a locker room full of guys that are playing for something bigger than themselves. I think they represent this state and everything that this state's about.
And then follow up, the last 2 years, your season has ended in the Super Regionals. Now going to Omaha, just personally for you, being a part of those last 2 teams, what has this meant for you, just from what's happened and how bittersweet this is for you?
You know, in the 9th inning, I got sunglasses on and watching Ben McDougall go out there. Like I'm almost in tears in the dugout, just because there's a lot of sacrifice that gets made, and said every coach in history. But sacrifice from my wife, sacrifice from my family. I miss a lot of ball games of my kids. I'm out of the house before people wake up, and I go home when people are asleep a lot, and that's the same with our staff. And so we have a really unique group of people that have come together to do something special and maximize their time and their opportunities, and their families are incredible. The wives and fiancés and girlfriends and kids of our staff are absolutely incredible individuals, the best in the world. Wouldn't trade a single guy for any of them. And so I'm just so proud of those people because they love to work, they love each other, and I think that's just what this team is all about.
Steve, the guys talk so much about the players that have come before them. What's it mean, like, this is one of the biggest moments of their lives, and they're mindful enough to be thinking about everybody else? What's that say about them? What's that kind of mean for you as a coach to hear?
There's beautiful kids, man. They're just the best kids in the world, and not everything's always been easy for them. They've gone through adversity, and they've struggled, and they've truly got through to the other side where they recognize how lucky we are and how blessed they are to be in the position that they're in. It's not about them. It's not about me. It's not about us. Not a lot of ego in that locker room because we truly don't believe that, and those kids don't believe that. They feel like they hit the jackpot to put on this uniform, and they hit the jackpot to go out and represent something bigger than themselves. And the purity in which they play and how they approach every day is going to set them up to be successful in anything that they choose to do for the rest of their life. And we don't have a lot of slogans, and I'm not that guy, and I'm not a preacher and any of that stuff. I'm a baseball coach. We try to win baseball games, but there is a bigger picture in all of this, and I think those kids understand that, and that's why they're so successful. That's why good things come around to them, because Ben Lumsden, I mean, for God's sakes, that guy's been through every up and down over the course of history, and he just keeps coming back for more. And then to see 2 homers and send us to Omaha, and it's like every one of those kids has some sort of story, and it basically starts with, I'm going to put the team first, work really hard, be humble, count my blessings.
Right here in the middle.
Steve, I don't know if you caught Ben, but he's in here and fielded, 6, 7 questions, and he almost wouldn't talk about himself.
Dougal?
No, Lumsden.
Oh, Lumsden.
Yeah, I don't know if this is too simple, but I mean, does that kind of explain how a guy who doesn't basically play for 2 regular seasons, very much, here he is, kind of heroic, as you always say, in the postseason?
Yeah. Been with him for a long time, recruited him. I remember selling Ben Lumsden on why he should come here from UTA. In the summer, I was walking the concourse, because whenever I recruit on the phone, I walk. And I remember talking to him and eventually getting a commitment from him. And then we've stuck with him so long because he's the right kid and he's super talented. And everybody's time, it has a different curve for when it hits. And sure, it's nice to hit right now, but it's just if you stick with it long enough, you got a chance. You're here for a reason. And he's going to make an impact in a lot of people's lives for the rest of his life. He's capable of that. So he gets it,
And then any difficulty just having to sit through an hour and a half when there's 6, 7 outs left?
No. It's funny, at this point of the year, you're just excited to hang out with the dudes longer. So we were in the staff locker room having fun, breaking it down, not too focused on anything. I wasn't amped up. I wasn't tense. I don't think our team was either. The 8th and 9th inning is when you start feeling it in your gut. For me, it was right before the first pitch, and then in that 8th and 9th inning, I'm going we're warming up McDougal, and McDougal's going to send us to Omaha. You start kind of trying to get ahead of yourself. That it's always a battle. You're trying to be where your feet are at and stay present, and you're basically telling those thoughts to get out of your head whenever those thoughts come up. You're reprimanding yourself when you start to go away from pitch call and how you run an offense and that kind of stuff. But it's almost a constant battle. You wake up thinking about what this team could do or where it might go, and you're going, shut the hell up, move on. Who's in the lineup, who's going to pitch, if you're up 5, if you're down 5, who's going in the game, right? You're having those battles in your head all the time.
Right here.
Coach, 2 quick questions. The first one being, this obviously happened before your time here in Morgantown, but 14 years ago, this program was nearly disbanded, and I'm sure you've probably heard about that over the years. 14 years later, it's going to Omaha. Can you kind of put that into words, what it means?
I'd say that anything is possible if there's belief and backing and support, and if you get the right people in the room and the right relationships are connected, anything is possible. You see a program that was nearly disbanded to being one of the best programs in the nation. There's a lot of good schools. There's a lot of support. There's a lot of great players. We didn't do it because all of a sudden, miraculously, we have the most talented 40 players. We have really good players and a lot of talent, but there's something more to that, right? So there's culture and there's work and there's belief, and what this team has done has gone and outworked people for the last decade, and so you're starting to see some of the fruits of that labor show up. But that's essentially how I would see it.
And then with Armani going into Omaha, the level of play he's at now, Is it like a whole different world from what you saw back in February? His base stealing, finally hit a home run. I mean, what is he accomplishing now that is maybe so much different than it was at the beginning of the year?
Yeah, and I think it's just like the tools have always been there. We've always known that Armani is great, and you always hope as a coach that you can say, that guy took us to Omaha and was an incredible player and helped get this program to new levels, versus saying, man, he was like pretty good in college, and now he's a starting second baseman for the Phillies. Like, because that happens too, right? Where guys develop at different times, and they're better pro players than college players sometimes. Guzman's been incredible for us. He was the MVP of last year's regional, and so he's just coming into his own. One of the most athletic, talented, incredible people, incredible leader, but part of this is confidence, and these young guys are growing, and so he's stepped into a spot right now where I don't think he's going to go the other direction. I think we're going to keep seeing him develop, get better, and make even bigger strides. It feels like he's hung on to something. I heard today that he tied the all-time stolen base record. I think today we broke the all-time wins record. Is that accurate? And we're going to Omaha. Lots of firsts in a day. But Guzman's been such an important piece from this team, not only on the field, but in the locker room, and the belief and the excitement. And that's somebody to be in my life for the rest of my life.
Coach, we have time for 2 more questions. We'll go to Greg Carey and finish our press conference with Quinn.
Steve, you said a few weeks back that teams tend to hit for more power late in the year. Could you have ever envisioned the extent, I guess, in which you guys have, hit home runs for the last few weeks? 5 today for the first time in your tenure.
That was the first time we've ever hit 5 in a game. Wow. Yeah, they're coming in bunches. The other day, there was a clip I think our media team put together, and it was like Gavin Kelly's 16th, and I was like, Gavin has 16 homers? Oh my God. Tyrus hitting homers, Lumsden's hitting homers. It just comes, power definitely comes, and it usually develops later in careers, and so I think we're just starting to see some of those players come into that. Also, there's some warm weather, experienced at-bats, some excitement, some juice in bodies, good things happening. But the offense the last 7 games has been incredible. We scored 17 runs in a super regional game. I mean, it's kind of unheard of. And so I'm glad that it's happening now. It's a good time to do it.
Our last question.
When you look at all the country roads that you've sang over the last few weeks, how special was today's with the crowd? The way that there's an hour, 30-minute rain delay, how special was that?
So excited for the fans. This is a state, I always talk about it. It's just like one of those states where it means more and it feels different, and you feel like this unity with the people and the fans, and you feel like you provided them something special, right? I'm jogging out to the third base box, and people are screaming, thank you. And you're like, I'm just going to work, like, thank you. Like, I'm just appreciative to be here and be able to have an opportunity. And so you just have people where it, like, really means something too. So when you're belting country roads at the top of your lungs and you're looking up there and you're seeing the excitement in their faces. And, after the regional, when I was looking up there, there's just, like, grown-ass men crying in the stands. You're going, like, I think this is impacting somebody, right? And you couldn't ever want anything more than to make an impact on somebody's life and to be meaningful, and for what you do to be meaningful. So this state provides all that.
Coach Sabins, thank you for your time this week, and congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.